Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another live episode of the Coach's Box. I am Zach McVey, and with me, as always, is Chris Miller. And most of the time, we've got Riley Blair. Right. Fellas, how we doing?
Gosh, good. That's how you brought us into the show.
That's it. That's
like,
most of the time. Like he's here all the time or something.
I know,
What's
exactly.
going on?
I know.
Hey, I can't wait to take a vacation like you guys get to do. Like, I'm
hey,
just going to show up.
Wait a second. You need to pan over because who's not here today?
Well, let's see. Hang on.
That would be...
Hey, wait. Jim. What do you have to say about?
No, I wasn't talking about Jim.
Okay,
I was talking about JJ over there.
Where's Jarvis?
Jarvis.
There's nobody there too.
Is Kevin here?
No, we don't even have a microphone for him right now.
Oh, darn.
Jarvis will be here at some point.
Oh, you think?
Maybe.
I don't know.
He might be coaching something.
Over under?
I don't want to do the over under on this one.
It could be tough.
Well, he's got a lot of stuff to do, man. He's got like a how old's Weston now? I mean, listen. When you're getting your AARP card in the mail and you're changing diapers, that's a big deal. Okay.
Yeah,
just saying.
His hands don't work well. It's the arthritis. In the hands.
I got the arthritis.
Well, now your back's going to hurt because you pulled landscaping duty.
See the name tag? You're in my world now, Grandma. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but Jason, boy, I think, will be here at some point. He was coaching basketball. I was coaching basketball this evening, too. Riley was coaching basketball. I don't know what Zach's doing anymore.
A lot of honeydew list, man. Today was a busy day.
Making up for it. She's like, look, it's going to rain. Hurry up and get this done.
For the last 18 years, yes, because it's always been coaching.
Yeah, well, you better keep her, though.
Darn right.
Got to make her happy.
That's a true statement.
Hey, if she ain't happy long enough, you're going to be unhappy with half your stuff. Okay?
No doubt.
So you gotta make sure she's good to go, man. So Zach, let's actually talk about the show now. What's on the docket? I mean, this is the Welcome to the Basement episode, and we're definitely going to get to that here in just a little bit because the Cardinals, they kind of suck right now, and I think our group message has been pretty much on fire every single night that they play. So we're going to get to that in a little bit, but go ahead, Riley.
Before
you're going to jump
happens,
in here.
I do want you to kind of make last night you were live on a show. We had the privilege of being recognized on a show out in New Jersey,
nationally.
Nationally. It was real nice. It was I was asked to come on there and talk about our podcast, which now this is the 149th episode that I still can't believe we haven't been told we can't do this anymore.
I'm sure we have.
Somebody has told us.
Listen, I don't have to listen to the man, okay? But no, I was asked to be on the Rob Logan Show, which is a podcast that's out in New Jersey, and it was great. He is a very professional guy. I was very happy that I felt privileged and flattered because I don't think we do this for any kind of notoriety or anything. We just like having fun, and he was very flattering. Said that we a very professional show, and I did have to correct him afterwards. I said, now that's probably the first time anybody has ever use professional and our show in the same sentence without having a sarcastic undertone to it.
Some type of emoji,
right? Or like a poop emoji. But no, he was great, and he's a part of the Let's Talk Sports network, and him and Dan Harris do such a great job trying to promote podcasts, and we are affiliated with them. And if you want to check out some really, really great shows that they do, make sure that you go and check those guys out. I mean, I'll throw it up on the screen for Let's Talk Sports. They have a great backstory as far as how they got going, which again, it was about the same time we did, so they're about the same age as us as far as podcasts are concerned. But they got a lot of variety, a lot of different sports and pro sports especially. It's really interesting seeing and listen to guys in other places talk about their pro sports teams. I now I don't feel so bad that we sometimes rag on ours, but there's a lot of variety that they bring, and Rob does such a great job with his show. He does a lot of interviews and talked about our stuff. Then we got to talk about high school basketball. He's got a son that's playing, and then he wanted some advice. And I was thinking, well, he obviously doesn't know how good of a coach I am because I've lost a lot of games. So
just say, no, I'm just here to talk about the podcast.
It's like, listen, let's talk about something I do know about. Okay, wait a minute, never mind. I don't know about that either because, but it was a lot of fun to do it, and I felt very privileged. And we did have some technical difficulties because of the Canadian wildfires, again, out of Canada. Canada, if you don't know where that is.
Can you get a boat?
By boat.
You take the boat to Canada, then
Alaska?
through Canada, through Alaska, and that's how you get it. Anyway, but apparently these Canadian wildfires, there's smoke that's blowing down the East Coast, and it's affecting all kinds of stuff. He said outside his house smells like smoke and fire, and he's in New Jersey. So if you understand geography, which means that you probably passed Zach's geography class, then you understand that's a long way for smoke to travel. And anyway, yeah. But it was great. It was a lot of fun, and again, felt very privileged. Hopefully, get him on the show at times. He said he likes watching our show and thinks it's entertaining, and which is kind of the point. We want to make sure that we bring basically the whole point of our show is we're just some coaches who like to sit around, have fun. We'll talk sports. We'll make fun of each other, which is kind of what we do on a regular basis. Yeah, true. Even when you're not here.
Right,
true.
Right.
Because
especially when you're not
here.
Right,
Jason?
Right, Jason?
No, Jason. Hey, hang on, Jason. I'll give you your FaceTime. Okay, he's gone. All right, so anyway.
I think he's at dinner. He had to have his insurer. That's what it was. Metamucil and Ensure. You mix it together with a little spoon. Yeah, a little thick when it goes down. That's all right.
Wow. Anyway, it was great, and hopefully he's watching. And he said that he would try to watch and throw a comment out there. I'm like, go for it, man. I mean, that's what we want. We want you guys to watch it, make fun of us. Enjoy it. We don't really care. But
hey, we love the interaction because a lot of times the people that comment have just as many zingers that they give to us.
Especially our cult following.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
They're great.
Well, I love listening to his conversation, and he's like, it's hilarious for you guys to rip on each other, but it doesn't really bother you. You guys laugh about it, think it's funny, and move on. He's like, that's what it's all about. Like, you guys can tell that you guys are friends outside of ripping on each other all the time.
You mean we're not so sensitive that we have to take every? I know there used to be a billboard up on 55 around where Chris lived that said, "Words hurt. Words hurt." It was there for years. I don't know. Still be up there. I don't know.
But that's definitely not what. That's not what we do here. There's no safe place. I just want you to know that here, even at St. Pius, there's no safe place. But with our show, there's definitely not a safe place, and we have a lot of fun. So we appreciate that opportunity. And again, if you get a chance to check out their shows, they're on YouTube. You can follow them on Twitter. They're great follows, and a lot of sports, a lot of great information. And if you're interested in getting started in podcasts, those are the people to talk to. Definitely not me or anybody else on the show who doesn't know how to push buttons and set things up. Nope. But that's for another time. So, Zach, let's get into the show, and let's tell the people what they really want to talk about.
Well, we've heard this. There's some breaking news going on about this wonderful, wonderful sport called golf. And
Well, it's fun to play.
It's fun to play.
It's not really fun to
frustrating
watch.
at times, but man, that one shot just keeps bringing you back.
It
You
always
get one
does.
shot per round, and then it just brings you back. You know,
True.
it pulls you back in.
You
But
gotta quote it the right way.
okay, sorry. Anyway,
Just what I thought it was. No, never mind.
yeah. So the PGA,
Yep.
who all of the players now, I'm fans of a lot of the players. You talk about the PGA players inserting their foot and mouth
Insert.
because they
For
were
sure.
for weeks talking about how these guys that are going to LIV Golf, they're never going to be welcomed back. They're not going to be a part of the PGA. All of this. Well, the breaking news story is the PGA, the DP Tour, and the LIV Tour are all going to basically create one big conglomerate. Now, if Jarvis was here, we would talk about what that word conglomerate is. But
Can you
he's
use
not
it?
here.
Can you use it in a sentence when you spell it?
Exactly, right? So they're all going to merge together. And now Rory, who was one of the biggest
Who's
advocates, McIlroy.
Oh, okay. I don't
He's
know
only
who that
like,
is.
the number 4, ranked 4th or 5th in the world.
Listen, Zach, if you're not first, you're last. That's how I live here.
Well-
So I've been last a lot. Go ahead.
Hey, I'll be 4th or 5th and make all the money he's making. That's
Yes.
fine.
Do I get a
But-
big check like that guy does?
Yes, please.
like Happy Gilmore? No, can I just get it right now? I need one
right now.
But the problem is
Go ahead.
that all of the PGA guys now have to walk back all of their comments for the last several weeks because apparently they didn't realize that cash rules everything around you.
Sure it does.
Dollar bills, y'all. And so,
Really?
money,
For the
money.
guys
Yeah.
that get the big checks didn't know that that's how things work?
right? And so now they're
Stupid.
all going to merge, and we'll see what happens in the future. But I think it's funny how the PGA, Brooks Koepka just won the last major, and the president of the PGA just totally stonewalled him when he's getting his trophy. But now it's like, hey, you know what? Oh, we may not survive because of all of the money that's going to be bouncing around LIV, and so they're gonna combine. They don't know obviously the details yet, but you talk about walking everything back. The PGA, it's just kind of funny, and it kind of goes into things deeper because you're talking about on the LIV Tour the Saudi-backed money and all of those things. If you don't know. Politically, they're the last absolute monarchy, meaning they have a king, not like England who has a king, but I mean he rules 100%. That's why it's called an absolute monarch. But
Thanks
people,
for that lesson.
well, hey, civics class, right? I wonder if Jarvis is teaching that. EOCs, maybe. But anyway,
Maybe
so
that.
people didn't like the fact that you got Phil Mickelson, you got Brooks Koepka, you got Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed, all of these guys taking big checks, big money to go over to LIV because they're talking about Saudi-backed money, and you have to throw out words like funding terrorism and things like that, and anti-human rights and all of that's going on over there. But my question, fellas, is this. Doesn't the United States government buy from Saudi Arabia over 500,000 barrels of oil a day? So if it's okay for the U.S. government, how is it not okay for, let's say, Phil Mickelson to make a guaranteed check, big check, instead of worrying about, well, he's going to grind it out in the PGA?
Yeah.
Why is this so bad? Isn't that called capitalism?
Yay,
capitalism.
Go ahead, Riley. Let's hear you. You're the capitalist out of all this.
Okay. Well, the thing that I don't like about it is you speak your mind because you feel like it's okay to speak your mind. You have that right?
Yeah.
And then
Sometimes.
it backlashes on you because the people that you trusted was going to have your back didn't have your back, and now you're back to the opportunity where now maybe you don't get to have a job. Maybe you're at this point where maybe you don't ever get to move forward with what you love to do.
Well,
what's
and
been
that was something that they talked about today about those guys because the Open or the U.S. Open's coming up, and so those guys that are basically having to go through Q school, get their card, they're worried about, well, what if everybody from the LIV Tour comes back? And if they're going to be back with the PGA, what does that mean for me?
Yep.
And I'm the last guy. What's the phrase? Last guy hired, first guy fired?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of what they're worried about.
Yeah, and I don't blame them. I mean,
Right.
I don't blame them at all. I think it's a bad situation all around. I think it's a bad situation for sports in general, and just the overall big picture of things, I think it just looks terrible. I mean, it's just a terrible look.
What do you think?
Wait,
I don't know. I mean,
what?
Why is it a bad look?
Well, yeah, go ahead and expound on that because I really don't know where you're going with that.
So I just don't think that it looks good for the way that all the conversations I've been having the last couple of weeks about, both environments, and then all of a sudden
going to court.
And so then now all of a sudden we're gonna combine and take all that negative and put it together in one
And make positive. Two negatives make a positive, Riley.
Well,
It's math.
well, okay, but my point to that is all of that was it already in the making when all this went down? Was it already in the making, and now we've made it a bigger mess than it really should have been?
Look.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
okay. Let's go with capitalism here, which
my
obviously the money rules.
Yeah.
Do you don't think this is before our generation, guys? But you don't think they had the same crap going on with the NFL and AFL
Sure.
back in the day before those two merged, and all the stuff that was probably thrown at each league by each player, and all of a sudden,
NBA.
yep, same thing. And guess what? When it came down to it, when they all merged up, then I guess you guys got to get along now because now you're all part of it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a big deal at all, really, to be honest with you. I could be wrong, and I have been many times in my life, but I'm telling you, the money part of it is going to is controlling the whole thing. And if they want a bigger piece of the pot for everybody, this is the best way to do it. Then I have your worldwide golf league. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Are you the best player in the world, or are you the best player of this group here, or this group here? No. Now you're the best of all of them. So you know what? At the end of the day, there's no debate. Yeah, now you won the tournament. Do you want a tournament with all the players, or just some of them? And guess what? You have more access to more cash.
There we go.
And there it is, right
Bigger
there.
names because hey, I love Scotty Scheffler to death. He's an awesome golfer. But if I'm going to
I don't
go,
know who that is, but go ahead.
Anyway, and Rory and all those guys. But if I'm going to go spend the hundreds of dollars to go to an event like 2018 when the PGA when the players or whatever came to Belle Reve, I want to see all those guys. I want to see everybody play. And if I'm gonna have to spend my hard-earned money and the hundreds of dollars to do
let's hang on. Spend your money. don't use
the guy that
adjectives
has
aren't
his
correct.
own office over here talking about hard. But anyway.
Zach, you have your own office too. It has a toilet.
That's it. Hey, don't hate the player. Hate
Do
the
I
game.
have one? Absolutely not.
Hey, Chris, what do you always tell me? When your life merged or you had an opportunity, there's a fork in the road. That's what you chose, right?
That's right. That's what I did.
No, but you want to see all of the really good players, and you want to see them play and compete against each other. Here's what I think. I think the guys that were offered the millions of guaranteed dollars are frustrated because they're like, wait a second, I see Phil over there. He's got all of this guaranteed money, and he's going to be able to come back when I could have done the exact same thing, but I wanted to have the integrity of being along with the PGA. Okay, and then here comes the PGA months later. Wait a second, how are we going to compete? And how are we going to compete year after year after year?
With this, there's no competing with that.
Right?
Dude, you're not going to compete. That's the cash talks.
Yeah.
And BS walks, man. That's just how it works, man. They did it. If you didn't think for 1 second that wasn't going to happen, at some point in time, LIV Tour with the money they have backing it. Everybody's like, "Oh, they'll fold." No, they're not going to fold. They got all that blood money over there in Saudi Arabia. Just ask people. I don't care right now about that stuff. I'm telling you right now, what everybody does care about is the green.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Now, here I'm going to throw a little conspiracy theory at you. Okay. So everybody has been bad mouthing each league, right?
Sure. Hey,
what has kept golf relevant? LIV Tour.
Well, sure.
Okay. Rivalries in golf.
Yeah.
What, Bryce DeChambeau, that's one name I know. And who's the other guy?
Brooks.
Brooks Koepka. There we go.
Playing on the
I
LIV Tour
know
together.
like 2 or 3 guys. I know who Rory McIlroy is. After that,
Tiger Woods. Have you heard of him?
Shut up. Okay. Of course I know who Tiger Woods is and Phil Mickelson. Okay. But Payne Stewart was one of my favorite
he was
golfers.
great, man.
Okay,
He was great.
And again, it's like Dale Earnhardt. When they're gone, it's like now Tiger's a different story because I love Tiger Woods. But what's kept golf relevant now? Tiger's old and he ain't winning. It's the rivalries. So you got rivalries between players. Wait, we have another league. Let's have the rivalry. Kept them in the news, and in the back. Oh, they're probably already negotiating this from the start.
Sure.
Why wouldn't they? Because there's so much money there. That's in it. What's the PGA going to want? More money.
Yep.
What are the players going to want? More money. So why not? So they start this league like, oh man, this is terrible. This is terrible. And all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute.
Maybe it isn't.
Maybe it's not so bad. I'm just saying. That's just me. I kind of look at it like, well, maybe
So you're saying the execs and obviously not the players, because the players are like, hold on, you hear that beeping sound? Yeah, that's the bus running over us.
Yes.
So
Are we sure though? Are we sure?
Oh yeah, like I said, how Rory talked.
Oh,
man.
wait. You could put on a face, dude. All you gotta do is act like you hate these guys, and you're gonna make bank.
Did you see?
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't the WWE, right?
Are you sure?
Hey, if you watch,
be.
and if you haven't ever watched,
Is it entertainment?
Sure.
Okay, there you go.
Sure.
It can be.
But the Full Swing documentary on Netflix.
No, I don't know.
I'm not talking to you. You don't like the viewers.
I like
all
playing
three.
golf.
All three viewers that
Not
are watching.
any good at it.
But they talk about that.
There's 8.
Okay, 8.
7.
Hey, they talk about that in that Netflix documentary, and I mean, it is venomous at times.
Sure
And
is.
so that's why I'm saying I don't think you're faking that, because they talked about, no, we are revoking your PGA status. You're out. You're done. You are not coming back.
That's just a card. You can print a new one. Go to Office Max and print a new one.
You can get Jarvis might be there with his AARP card.
Look,
I got a coupon for milk. It's 50 cents off.
so bad. I'll take the whole milk, please. The organic stuff, no. I want the real stuff. But no, I don't know. I think it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. I think it's big news because it's going to make there's a bigger pot of money. If there was I don't know what's a winner. What's the winning amount that you get for winning the Masters? I don't know, Zach. You know about golf.
That one, I mean, that one's up there. But if we're
what-
going to talk about,
What are we talking about? 2 million, $1 million?
Oh no, more. The Masters.
I don't know.
No, it's more. No,
Okay.
no. Number one is going to be
8, 9, 10.
plus to 12.
Okay, let's just say 10.
10,
just for
exactly.
poops and giggles,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, $10 million.
That's
Well,
only one event.
That's one event.
one of
I
the
know,
majors.
right? One event.
Yeah.
Now you have all this money behind this. That amount goes up, and even that's the top. That means that all the other money still runs downhill.
Yeah.
So you don't just get the big check that has a lot of zeros on it. The other little checks get a lot of zeros too, a lot more than what they did before.
Or is it guaranteed across the board? So maybe winning those is not as much for winning it because you're paying you throughout instead of just paying you
and that's
one
the
big
kicker.
lump
You
sum.
could go ahead and win the Masters, and maybe you get 10 mil or whatever the purse is, but you sign with the LIV Tour, and it's 30 mil guaranteed. That was the whole argument that the PGA players were saying, is that you have guaranteed money. What's stopping you from not putting in the hours of grinding to win these tournaments? Obviously, Brooks
Salary.
Koepka's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and win anyway, just to prove you wrong.
Right.
And I think when he won, I think that's where it's like, oh, we have an issue.
So we have it was like the New York Jets winning the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Something that will never happen again.
It's an issue.
Not with Rodgers. Look at him over there. Zoom in. Can you zoom in?
We better talk to some of those New York people up there. They may be telling you
I was going to
differently.
say those.
I don't really care. They tune in right now. I'm going to tell you right now. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Okay. No. It's Miami or Buffalo out of that division. That's it.
There's one out of that division. It's called Buffalo.
I said one of them.
Buffalo.
If
much as-
Tua stays healthy, you never know. Wait.
Two has been he's not healthy anymore. He stopped being healthy when he busted his hip at Alabama.
Okay. So
And I love Tua.
who's got the better brain function, Tua or Jarvis? I'm taking Jarvis. I'm taking my boy. I'm taking Jarvis, man.
Man's going to ask some questions. Man's going to hold up some fingers.
Oh, you got to ask him true false. True false. Billy Bob, is that man holding up fingers? True? Bingo. Just like that. Jarvis, he'd be all over that.
Oh, man.
You got to have multiple choice.
Winner, winner.
That's right. By the way, we'll jump in this real quick before we go to commercial break.
Right.
You know who's on the cover of the new Madden?
Well, I saw a picture. You never know now. You never know. Bill's QB.
Who is that? You don't even know who it is. You don't know who he is?
Alan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Alan who? Davis?
Josh,
Oh,
yeah. No, he's elbow deep somewhere.
Elbow deep. Shoulder deep, baby.
Well,
both hands.
But he answered your phone call.
Well, I tried. Hey,
Pull out for that.
I tried to call him. I tried to call him the other day, and he didn't answer. And I'm just like, well, I know what he's doing. He didn't want to pull out, so you just keep going. Yeah, Josh Allen's the new. He's on the new Madden cover.
Okay, so now I'm going to take Miami.
So now you're taking Miami.
The Madden curse.
Now, because Buffalo and Josh Allen probably going to, God forbid, get hurt and be out for the season because of the Madden curse. And then Tua will probably be hurt anyway, just because he'll be thinking he's Batman or at some point. I'm Batman. You're a coach. Who are you? I'm Batman. Yeah. Great. Do you remember that commercial, Blair? Just making sure. Snickers. Great commercials back in the day. But yeah, that will be an interesting thing to see if that happens. If he doesn't, have a great year. I think Mahomes is the only one who kind of broke the curse. He's just Patrick Mahomes, though.
Right.
So yeah, he's okay.
I tell you what, though, I really like Miami's coach. I mean, he's hilarious, Mike McDaniel. He is absolutely he's fun. Yeah.
Is he related to Mel McDaniel?
I don't know.
You know who Mel McDaniel is, do you? He's a country singer. Never mind.
No.
Well, I guess you don't know then. All right. Well, hey, we're going to go ahead and jump to a break. So, Blair, why don't you tell everybody?
All right,
a little bit.
Hey, you're watching the Coach's Box. We'll be right back after these commercials.
I'm the latest hashtag challenge, and everyone on social media is trying me. I'm trending so hard that hashtag common sense can't keep up. This is gonna get tens and tens of views. But if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, you could be left to pay for this yourself.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally and regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their lives. they're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
Everybody, welcome back to the Coach's Box. Hopefully you got a chance to get up and go to the bathroom and
get yourself a snack.
Get yourself a snack.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah, I mean, this show can be kind of intense. You just want to make sure that you
don't miss it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now. I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. You can't
intense value.
Listen, you can't be injured and be on this show. I mean,
no.
It's because tough, man. I mean,
Yes.
you got to grind through. Ain't that right, Jim? Yeah. No, that's not Jim Powers. That's an empty microphone. You know what? I'm not going to tell anybody anymore that Jim Powers is going to be on the show.
It's true.
I mean, golly, Jim, you're killing me. Anytime you make me look bad when I was like, Jim Powers is going to be on the show, and next thing you know, Jim's not on the show. I mean, I'm telling you, he said he went to the doctor. I think he went and saw Dr. Sam Page and said that Sam Page says you can't cross the Merrimack. It's not safe because he's not here. Now, dang it, Jim, I love you, buddy, but why aren't you here? We could have sent like an Uber or something to get you and take you down here. Yeah, help you out.
And then you wouldn't have to drive past the Merrimack.
Yeah, see?
You would have rode past
past it. See how easy that is? Anyway, no, we love Jim. We wish he could be here. And Kevin, too. We kind of like Kevin.
Yeah.
Right? I like Kevin a lot. Otherwise, my internet's not going to work.
Time out. Hold on, wait a second.
The show would not be going.
How many times does Kevin run the board? Because that's why he was supposed to be here, was to run the board.
Yeah, it was supposed to be that.
You can't say anything.
Why?
Because you don't know how to run the board.
I never said I'll join and I'll run the board.
Well,
I never said that. Those words never came out of my mouth.
You're right. You're
Zach,
right.
Hold on.
Because you're simple.
Record that.
You're
yes,
simple.
I'm very simple.
You're simple.
Zach, you're right. I heard it.
Zach, you're right. You're just a simple coach, and you don't know how to do it. That's what I heard.
Apparently.
And that's
that's what he heard.
That's right. Listen, I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. And this show has hit a new low all the way to the basement. Speaking of basement. It's a terrible segue, but I'm going to jump right to it.
It's just so sad.
Riley, you've been kind of outspoken about the St. Louis Cardinals. Why don't you...
outspoken, huh?
Outspoken on this show and our group chat.
I tell you what, I absolutely love Mo's comment this morning. We're a very good baseball team, and we're going to get there. The manager has the full team support and they have his back, and they're very supportive of him. And I beg to differ on that. I don't believe he has the clubhouse at all.
Oh, so describe about the Cardinals. Like where are they right now in the standings?
Well, they are the worst team in the NL right now. Central.
Oh,
yes.
wait.
NL
They're
Central,
the
sorry.
worst. They're the worst team in the National League.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. And so the biggest problem with that is they're only 8.5 back from winning the freaking division. That's how bad the NL Central is.
Still, but I want to just
we're 12 games under 500.
Put this in perspective, guys. They are the worst team in the National League at this point during the season. I don't think since Bob Tewksbury took the mound for the Cardinals.
No, 90 years.
Okay, I take that back. I wasn't around. Jarvis might have been born.
It's close.
But 90 years. Well, I'm glad you looked that up because I couldn't remember.
Because it was 50 years when they started. How bad they started was the worst.
That's right. That's right. Now I remember hearing that. So they are the worst team in the National League. But thank God there are the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland, soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics, maybe Raiders. Who knows what they're going to change their name to. But because otherwise we would be dead last in baseball.
Now, here's your stat, and I want to
Go ahead.
I want to ask
Stat
you
it up.
what you think the problem is when you hear the stat.
That's a long
and everybody
list.
else can comment.
Please comment.
Run differential.
Okay.
Run differential. If out of these numbers,
0.
out of these numbers, who do you think should probably be in first place in the division? 0, -2, -2, -20, -32, or if you want to say minus, when we talk about run differential. 0. That's the Cardinals. That's the Cardinals.
I read that today. And I was
That's
like,
the Cardinals.
Yes.
Run differential. So, pop quiz, what's the problem?
Yeah.
Wait, now the problem with run differential is you've had those 2 games where they whipped up on somebody terribly, and they had a position player pitching at the end.
Right.
That makes up for when you beat the Dodgers 16-4. There's 12 plus right there. Then you take all the other stupid games that I don't.
-20, and that's Milwaukee.
Are they
who's
in first?
30? They're in first
That's
place.
right, they're in first place.
Yeah. But what does Milwaukee have that we don't?
Pitching.
Yeah.
Yes. But we have some great pitching.
Huh?
That's what Mo said.
We have expensive pitching.
We have some great pitching. We just haven't seen
Where
it
the
yet.
AAA, AA? Yeah, because it's
He
in
said
AAA,
it's-
AA.
His exact words. We have some great pitching. We just haven't seen it yet.
Where, from Wayno 10 years ago?
Hey, I'm just telling you what the guy said. I mean,
Okay.
Where?
He's so
Does he
positive right
need-
now.
Does he need my glasses? What are we talking
He's
about?
positive. He's trying to save his job, you know?
Oh, he's safe.
He's safe.
He's the last one to go. He's the last one
Yeah,
to go.
Bill DeWitt would be gone before him. You got to be kidding me. He's got to have dirty pictures of somebody.
You said it. I was going to
I mean, you cannot be this. You cannot. I'm saving. I want to save my rant because my podcast comes out tomorrow, and it's going to be all about this. Because I recorded it the other day before they lost these last 2 games, and I was so pissed off after that.
well-
I get it's like this: you get done working in the hayfield, you come in, and you're like, "Oh, I'll see what the Cardinals did." You've got to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just.
Yeah.
What? What? How is this possible? And then
I'll tell you why.
Wait. You guys just need to be patient, okay? We'll be patient. Everybody need to be patient. You just need to be patient, okay? Okay. That's it. That's every time he talks, I'm just thinking it's like
Just he and Aaron Rodgers go.
South Park.
Relax.
Well, Coach Winkler has a good question.
No, that's Coach
Hey,
Winkler.
to me, it's a roster problem. Who is in charge of the roster?
That would be
oh,
Mo.
that's Gersh. Come on.
Now, Gersh. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what Gersh's job
Who
really
does
is.
Gersh work for?
Oh, that hurt.
Gersh is the guy who's going to get fired, okay?
Exactly.
Let's just
Exactly.
he's the general manager that
Exactly.
nobody knows he's the general manager.
Do you think he has a bathroom in his office? I don't
No.
think so. He just
No.
sits. He sits in a corner in Mo's office.
He has to
He's
use
in a
the
little
one out in the
cage.
stadium out
He's in
there.
a little cage.
He's got a broom closet.
Here's some cheese for you every so often.
No,
You gotta
he's
use
actually
the restroom. Go hit the section 135. That bathroom right outside of there. You can go to that
he's
one.
in a pit with Buffalo Bob.
Is that Mo? It puts the lotion on.
and does as it's told. So the problem with the Cardinals,
I don't think we're going to fire a manager though.
no,
Well, no,
And the
he's the
reason
yes
why-
man.
because he's he's a puppet.
But it's not going to be for that reason because we've fired 2 managers. Our last 2 managers,
It doesn't.
and now we're going to fire a third in total of 10 years. So
probably less than that.
So
Well, so if it comes down to it, it's like, well, what is the problem? And let's just start from the beginning. Number one, our pitching is so damn bad. It is so bad. It's bad when Michaelis is your best pitcher and he's got an ERA close to 4. Okay, and then everybody else. Wainwright is not Adam Wainwright as he used to be. I'll tell you, I have all kinds of respect for the guy. I really, really, really do.
Yes.
As I watch any of our games this year, I hate it for the guy. I wish he'd have walked out with the other two.
You know why, though? My guess is
because money.
No, he wanted to get to 200 wins. He's 3 away from 200.
He ain't gonna get it. He's not gonna get it the way they're playing right now. I mean, come on.
Well, they need one of those games when they score 16.
You know what they should do? They should put him in when they are up and pull the starter before they get to 5. Get through 5 innings, so that way he's the guy who gets the win. That's how I would listen, we're going to get you 200 wins, and then you have the press conference, and then you just go ahead and retire because he probably needs. I mean, he's got a 6-run ERA. Come on, man. But the pitching is bad.
Here's why, though. We got to go into the pitching.
Oh, so I don't get to talk now?
No, I'm just saying. But here's why. Because, and I think it was Bernie Michaelis had a great article. I think Jarvis sent it to us, and I wholeheartedly agree, is that Mo and DeWitt and everybody's philosophy is we're going to pitch to contact.
Yes.
That is not Major League Baseball right now.
No.
Major League Baseball is go get flamethrowers. If you aren't throwing 97 plus, I don't want you on my team.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you $30 million a year. I'll have an entire staff of relievers that throw 97 to 102, and I'll win ball games that way because I'll take the average, the mathematical average that you're going to strike out against 101 versus, hey, you can barrel up 88, you can barrel up 90, 91, but go ahead and hit 102 fastball consistently. It's not going to happen. And so, yeah, you want to build based off of, hey, defense first, but you're not getting anybody out because that's not the way the game is played anymore.
Well,
it just isn't.
This the exact point was being talked about today on 101. They were talking about Jordan Hicks, and he had a terrible beginning of the year. And he's since he kind of went off of that, he's got under a 1 ERA. So he's under 1 ERA, and he's got the most strikeouts of any pitcher on the Cardinals. So what does that tell you?
I want to know what the pitch selection is. If they just said take the slider, throw it away, and go ahead and just fire in at 102 consistently, because I'll take 102. And I was talking with Ethan today. How come Helsey, he throws 102, but he's not getting barreled up? Oh, wait, that's because he's throwing strikes, and they're not sitting 2-1, 3-1.
You're not throwing it right down the stinking middle, though. I mean, it's one thing to throw 100. It's another thing to throw it at the top of the zone or painting the corners with it. If you can throw it accurately, it's hard to hit. If you don't throw it accurately, that thing ends up fat over the plate. Yep. You're in the major leagues, man. Everybody throws that fast. It's just hitting spots. I don't think that's a strike. Well, that's Angel Hernandez back. Well, not right now. He doesn't get to umpire. But you got CB back there, and that's a strike. Maybe not, but still, it's whatever. You locate. So the roster, the guys got to be able to pitch. Yeah, we don't have guys that are flamethrowers, but you got to have some guys who can get those ground ball outs too, and they end up becoming your 4 and 5 pitchers. On your staff, we don't have a true ace. We don't have a number 2. We don't really have a number 3. And Michaelis, he's definitely rebounded better. If you take his early season games and you flush them, he's been a lot better. He had one clunker since those first 2 that he was really bad, and he would be a 3 or 4 on anybody else who's a contender.
Why is that?
Well, because we overvalue our players and no one else does.
Because everybody else's 1 and 2 is throwing upper 90s.
Yes.
As I just said, that we overvalue our players and no one else does, which is why we can't go and improve our roster. Mosaic says that there's no market right now. Well, when Paul DeYoung came back and he was hitting, I would have been on the phone with every freaking team going, what do you want for him? Come on. What do you want for him? Come on, what are you going to give me? What are you going to give me? Come on. You know what we didn't do? Well, we're going to be patient and wait for him, okay? And guess what happened? He fell back to earth like we all thought he would.
Not thought. New.
Okay. We all knew he would. Like, it's going to happen. It's like death, taxes. Paul DeYoung can't hit after a while. It goes through a 1 for 72 slump. And then hits a home run. Everybody's like, yeah. No. This is who he is, okay? You are who you are. The numbers don't lie. He's hitting 239. The last time I looked, he was hitting 239. So we have nobody who's hitting 300 right now, which I know that doesn't mean anything to the new calculator-driven baseball. Yeah. You know what? Take that calculator and shove it somewhere, okay? Because at the end of the day, I'm gonna put this ball past that dude who's got the stick in his hand, and guess what? He ain't gonna hit it. Nope. And I don't care about the numbers. Here's my bet. It's like Alec told me that time. He goes, sometimes you just throw all that crap out the window. This is my best pitch, and he's going to have to hit it. And at the end of the day, when the rubber meets the road, there ain't any little formula, little calculator, nothing like that.
What does that sound like? That sounds like playoff baseball.
It just sounds like baseball.
Yeah.
That's baseball.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's sports. Analytics can take you to a point. LaRussa and Dave Duncan use analytics, but at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and play the game, and it's not played on paper. The roster is not good, okay? It's just not. Donovan, again, just like with anybody else, when you get film on somebody, they start finding the holes in your swing, and there's plenty of analytics that find those things too.
Sure they do.
And they're getting those guys out. Okay, they're not getting those big hits. We are so reliant on the home run to drive in runs, the timely hitting, things like that. We're not getting that. We're just not. The whole Jordan Walker issue with why we decided to send him down.
Because we need to change his launch angle. Are you kidding me?
The dude can freaking hit. Let him play.
Hey, I love the fact that he said, you know what? I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be the person that got me to this point.
And then he's gonna be a free agent at some point. And he's gone.
Right? Who cares? Because you know why? Because they want to make him again the face of the franchise, and they want to. They're hopefully, hey, if we can get him 30 and 100 or 30 and 80, then that's great. So we got to change the launch angle instead of saying, you know what, 20 or 25 and 80 or 85. That's pretty darn good.
No. What they'll do is they'll make him a 262 hitter with an on-base percentage of like 310, and he'll hit 30 and drive in 80 instead of being a guy who hits 40 and drives in 120.
Here's the problem.
That's the difference.
And you said this. You just said this about average, okay? Now, this was, I think, the first Texas game. Goldschmidt, 10 home runs, okay, 10 home runs. You know how many RBIs? 26.
I think, yeah.
So that you mean to tell me in 60 games-ish, he only drove in 16 other people, 16 other times in 60 games that weren't home runs. You know what that means? That means nobody else is getting on base. So what does it matter if you're hitting home runs and nobody's on base? Because you've said for the last 2 years, they want to play for the 3-run home run rather than a single and run production. How do you hit a 3-run home run if nobody else is on base?
Bingo. Hey, and what do they say about home runs anyway? Which ones don't kill you? Solo shots. Yeah, how many? They hit, 4 home runs the other night? And did they win?
No.
Solos.
They lost.
They haven't won in a while. They haven't won in a while. And so,
it's 0-0 right now, by the way. The run production is...
Well, has the game started?
Yeah, it's like in the 6th.
Give it time.
Well, the other team is bound to score.
Here's my hot take.
No.
Go get... And I hate to say this, but
get
rid of Goldie, get rid of Arenado, see what you can get for them.
I'm off the show.
Why? Why? Hey, you're losing anyway.
I'm not going to trade those two guys.
You are in the worst.
No.
You are the worst.
No.
Is it going to get any better next year because you know who's gone? Okay, Waino's off the books, fine. Yeah. Montgomery's gone.
Well,
you know who the guys you have coming back? You've got Matz and you've got Michaelis. That's it.
No.
But so here's my thought process on that, and I don't agree with
get as much as you possibly can at the trade deadline.
No,
release everybody for what you can.
Those guys you aren't going to get as much as for right now.
No, trade deadline.
Okay, but I still think you're going to get more for those younger guys because they see that there's longevity in it.
No. No.
Longevity.
That's not what the trade deadline's for. The trade deadline's
for teams that like us that we right now we're 12 games under 500.
I know.
Guess what? I'll sell that
winners
guy, and I'll get rid of one of my starting pitchers to get that because I might have I need it back.
Nobody's buying. But hey, you don't think somebody's going to buy a Hall of Fame third baseman, probably the best in his generation, to help them win now?
I don't want to get rid of him. He still puts people in the stands, and then who else is better? Who am I going to get that's better? If I'm going to trade him, if I'm going to do anything, right, I'm going to get rid of either or both Tommy Edman, Brendan Donovan, Paul DeYoung, Tyler O'Neill.
You're not getting
Dylan
anything
Carlson.
for them.
I would trade every one of them for one guy.
That's
just
not happening.
Go get somebody.
That's not happening.
Bring Mason Wynn up. Bring the young guys up.
That's my point.
Okay,
you trade Goldie, you trade Arenado.
Absolutely not.
You're losing anyway.
No.
You're losing anyway.
I'm not taking the two best players because otherwise you're in a complete rebuild.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you are. You are last place in the National League. You are in a rebuild.
And you're only 8.5 out.
And you're only 8.5 out. You can still get in. No, but the thing is you don't tear the whole thing down. If you tear it down, you're done for 4 to 5 years.
No.
They are not
I agree
that far away because of the fact they're in the Central. If they're in the NL East, the AL East.
They're not that far away from what? Because it ain't winning a World Series. Oh, getting to the playoffs, getting to a wild card game. Okay, because we're going to win.
You never know what happens.
Yeah, we do because it's happened. They lose wild card games.
Well, you make a big trade with a couple of those guys, and you get a starting pitcher, and all of a sudden things change.
Or you get to the deadline, you sell to somebody who's wanting into the win now, you fleece them for as absolutely every prospect you can.
All right. And then what?
It's the 1990s, guys.
And then what?
And then what?
What are you doing next year, Zach?
Playing all those guys. You play, and you have a nucleus.
That won't happen.
You have a
That won't happen. Of who?
Of all of the guys that you fleeced them for, all young prospects.
No, because, so you're going to trade for prospects that are 18, 19 years old. They're not playing those guys. They're not. Let's just say, let's just say that you do. You trade, let's say you trade Arenado for the number 2 rated prospect in baseball, and you trade Goldschmidt for the number 4 rated prospect. And let's say both of them, and whatever. But let's just say that they're 19 years old both. You're not playing them next year, so you're not getting any production out of what you just traded to put on the field. Who are you putting out there? You're going to put on who? Some guy who's going to get DFA'd after a year? You've got the Cleveland Indians in Major League, basically, that we're trying to lose enough to get another high draft pick.
I'm pretty sure Cleveland Indians in Major League Baseball won more than the Cardinals right now.
Well, we can't say the Indians right now.
But I said of the movie Major League.
But that's what, Zach, I'm saying you can't.
Of Major League.
Can't. You're setting it back 4 or 5 years.
What are you doing now? You're not winning right now.
Because you can still trade those guys and get pieces that can be competitive now. Because look, where's the holes? Besides the pitching staff, we already know the pitching staff is absolutely god awful. But where are the holes? Where can you take now and just say, okay, can I get the same production? Or at least defensively, Mason Wynn, can he produce? Can he hit 250? Can he hit 200? Can he hit 239? Because if he can hit 239, I'm going to play him over Paul DeYoung.
Sounds like a prospect to me.
Then I trade DeYoung. I trade the next guy. I trade whoever else and a bag of cash
for prospects.
Anybody. I go get somebody.
I think we don't utilize our farm system enough. When it's right now, like we need to use our farm system. If we're not going to use them to trade away and get.
I wouldn't do that.
Pitcher.
I wouldn't do that. Trade away the guys in front that aren't getting it done. George Steinbrenner did not go and get rid of all of his good players when he was the owner for the Yankees and was trading
because he had
everybody.
More than 2.
He did, dude. There were some lean times for the Yankees. And
when
he didn't trade Mattingly, did he? I'm just telling you, he didn't trade him.
Right.
So he's going to – look, you're not going to tear the whole thing down. And I think Steinbrenner was pretty good with winning and running a franchise. He was crazy as all get out.
Right.
He was probably the extreme of anything we're talking about. But he was not afraid to pull the trigger and say, you know what, this ain't working, man.
It ain't working. It's you're not producing, so therefore you got to go.
And there you go.
That's the problem.
So, but it ain't those two guys that aren't producing. It's those other guys. And Arenado's not going to be as good of a hitter when nobody else is hitting around him. Goldschmidt's not going to be that good of a hitter when nobody's hitting around him.
Well, you can see that right now. You can see that right now. Neither one of them are hitting.
Hold on, wait a second.
Your point exactly.
So you're saying you're
RBIs.
making an excuse for a professional MVP and future Hall of Fame third baseman, the best third baseman of this generation, saying because he doesn't have protection that he's not hitting? No. Is somebody up there?
He wouldn't have
somebody up there hitting for him? No.
Oh, my gosh.
C-ball, hit ball.
Hey, by the way, hey, Jason, welcome to the show.
Hey, dude, I show up and Zach is yelling, and I haven't been on the show yet. That's freaking awesome. This is so awesome.
Oh, him and Chris are going out of here right now. It's great stuff.
Arenado is struggling because there isn't much around him. I agree.
What does it have to do with him hitting the baseball?
Or Goldie, either one of them.
Either one of them.
Oh, you're so full of crap. Do you even know about baseball? You coached it for how long?
Yes.
Man, you must not have won any games there, huh?
Whatever. Back-to-back conference champs.
Who? What?
Here, zoom in on that.
There was. Come on now. You're making coattail ride one of those.
There's so many things I want to say, and I can't wait till the show's over.
So, so you're telling me that if the scrub's in front of those guys,
so who's in front of Arenado?
Oh my God, he ain't gonna let me talk. He's just gonna freaking go on about this crap.
Man, aren't you glad I'm here to take up for you, Chris?
I don't care either way. It doesn't matter. The fact is that if Donovan or whoever else,
Donovan's been sucking.
Yeah. Oh, look, Alec Burleson. Who in the hell is Alec Burleson anyway?
Why the heck? And
Jason comes on, we all start cussing now. You know what I'm saying?
He just had open gym.
I got a lot of things to cuss about. But we are, God, we're starting Edmond in center field. I mean, how crazy is our stuff?
Bring me back to that one before I got to finish this point.
Sorry.
But the whole thing is if those guys aren't hitting, then I don't have to throw him he's throwing fastballs to hit.
Yeah.
You don't get the good pitches.
Then you take walks.
Okay.
Oh, wait. But Arenado struggles with the slider. Everybody knows that. He knows that.
Then how did he hit? Hey, how many years did he play in Colorado?
Quite a bit.
Okay. And he hit 300.
Yes.
And he hit 30 home runs and 100 RBIs. Mm-hmm. And
on a bad team, who was his protection?
Let me see, though.
Who was his protection?
Guys were getting on base. Guys get on base. Their pitching was bad.
Okay.
You can say Colorado and all that nonsense. It doesn't matter. The guys would get on base. He had a guy like Troy Tulowitzki. He had
Arenado only has Goldie hitting in front of him. Okay.
That's it. That's the only two guys. Wilson Contreras.
Your analytics just said that a minute ago. He only has 26 RBIs and 10 home runs. So 16 RBIs in 60 games. Right. That means nobody else in front of him is hitting.
He's got 36 RBIs.
I think he had 26.
I got the stats right in front of me, buddy.
Here we go. You arguing stats again.
I swear it's 26.
I looked it up. No, it's not 26. I'm looking right at it.
All right.
Arenado stats.
Not Arenado.
Read his stat line there, Jason.
Let me get to it.
Oh, we were talking about Goldschmidt. I'm sorry.
Oh, you were talking about Goldie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he's not.
Anyway, the point is,
Arenado's still. You're going to tell me you're upset with 263, 11 homers, and 41 RBIs?
No. I'm upset that anybody hits 263 and you're supposed to be a stud.
Oh, you're upset about him?
I am. I think he's being
hits. But if he hits 40 jacks and still at 263 or 30 jacks,
I take 40.
You know who you are? Hey, you know who you are if that happens? Todd Zeal.
I'll take 35, and if he hits 263, 35.
You're Todd Zeal. Because you know what this is? You are the 1990s Cardinals, except for 96. Oh, wait, what did they do in 96? Oh, yeah, they got Tony La Russa, his first year's manager.
Tony La Russa.
And he said, you know what? You're out. You're cool. You can stay, and I'm going to go win. And he did.
He put Royce Clayton in. That's the one thing that drove me nuts. Wait, Ozzie was hitting better than he ever did in his life, and he plays Royce Clayton over Ozzie. If there's one thing I hate about La Russa, is that.
Is that
at
the end of his career?
At the end of his career, it's like
it.
Royce Clayton is the next Ozzie Smith. Your ass. You don't even know what you're talking about.
That was a bad. I didn't like that movie either.
That's the worst thing. That and you use Trevor Miller for one guy because he's left-handed, then you pull
I
him.
wish I would have heard the first part of this conversation. But
Just imagine where it started. And if you'd watched the show.
Well, I'm not going to watch the show while I'm having open gym.
I mean, you can
We
listen
didn't
to
have
it.
that by then.
I'm not going to listen to it. I'm coaching.
Well, on your way here, you could have turned it on.
Started this
using-
segment at 8:37.
I'm using my contact day. We were discussing how it went after open gym. I have coaches now.
Oh, there you go.
I'm happy for that.
That's good. That's good.
Well, sorry, I have a coach and then possibly a coach.
There you go. There you go. That's a
so we'll definitely jump in a little bit more of the
because I want to
Sweller
talk
dwellers
about last night's Jordan Walker home run and the reaction from the team.
By the way, and let's also jump to this when Marmol was asked, I believe by Katie Wu, about why the defense of the Cardinals is not as good as it has been traditionally. His response was, "We have infielders playing in the outfield." That's his response.
You're the one that fills out the card.
Bingo!
What the heck, moron?
But hold on. When you have a team that's full of infielders and then all your outfielders are hurt,
Bring somebody up or make a trade.
that's not his job.
Yes, it is.
Marmol,
He's
that's
a
not
yes
Mo's
man. He
job.
says, "Hey, I need this."
No,
And they say,
no.
do the
Yes men's do not.
best you can.
Yes men's do not.
No.
They don't get that opportunity.
Hey, no, that isn't how this is happening. The guys up above are going, "Hey, you got to play the infielders in the outfield, dude."
We want to lose.
But I'm still not a
Apparently.
Marmol guy. I'd take Schilt back in a second.
So Jason, why
Time's
don't you send us off to our second break here?
Well, crap. You want me to say, hey, you're watching the coach's box, and hey, I didn't tick off. I almost said a curse word. I didn't piss off. I'm just saying it. I didn't piss off McVey. Miller did. So that was awesome.
That's not how it usually goes. Normally, it's me making you mad.
Man,
Be right back.
He was red when I got in there.
I'm the latest hashtag challenge, and everyone on social media is trying me. I'm trending so hard that hashtag common sense can't keep up. This is gonna get tens and tens of views. But if you don't have the right auto insurance coverage, you could be left to pay for this yourself.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
For 24 years, really enjoyed being a basketball coach. When I retired from coaching, I decided that I wanted to get back into the media world. I look at it from more of a coach's point of view. I love to showcase guests. I love to tell their stories, not just locally, regionally, but nationally as well. Joe Namath, Kurt Warner, Patrick Ewing, Katie Smith. Not just talk about their accolades, but what they have given back to the game, what they've given back as leaders in their community. And I want people to be able to listen to my show and to be able to take that into their lives. They're going to be able to live their life like a champion. That's a show right there that I feel like is worth listening to.
You are back for the third segment of the Coach's Box. And if you've looked around, the guy that did the commercial, Caspered us. Jim Powers, once again, Caspered us.
That's tough, Jason.
Is that tough?
That's real tough.
Well, Jim, what do you have to say about that?
Jim, what do you think?
Well, Jim,
Jim, what do you think? Hey, Kevin, what do you think? Oh, wait.
They're sharing a mic.
That's why we can't hear him.
Sharing the mic tonight.
I was late. I tried to get these guys to do this show on Thursday. Couldn't get that, so we had to do it on Wednesday.
Hey, I had no problem with
some dude acts like he's got to throw hay or do work on a farm or something.
Speaking of, hold on. Speaking of, we need to talk about this. How is the other guy? I mean, you look at Chris over there. He's got a little cut under his eye. How's the other guy doing?
The barbed wire fence or something?
Barbed wire, yeah. What
Is
was
that
it?
what it was? What?
No.
Oh.
No. Somebody was giving me a little bit of crap about being on the farm and you should see him.
So full of it.
He's trying to start fighting with you again.
I don't know.
You cannot lie very well, Chris. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
No,
Sorry.
It's those trees.
You're driving a tractor, and you're looking back, you turn around, and
branch
limb.
got you.
Oh yeah, man. It's bad because you can't gauge it with that little roof or that little sunshade, and then the exhaust pipe on the front of the tractor. So you think, I got that thing whipped. It's not going to hit me, and no.
Man, it got you. That's a pretty nice one.
Yeah.
Not too much of a shiner though.
It's not a shiner. Just scrape me. That's what it is. It's
we just gave Burleson all that crap, and he just hits a jack.
Oh, good job! Now you're hitting 215. Yay!
Was it a solo?
A solo shot, yes.
Bingo.
Hey, 1-0 Cardinals in the middle of the eighth.
Eighth inning.
And the other team-
1-0.
Woo! Hey, this must be how Bob Gibson must have felt when he threw, right? All right, there's your one run.
No,
Win for us.
he won a World Series.
I know.
Oh,
Actually, I think he won 2 World Series.
Win for us.
We are not comparing Bob Gibson to.
No, I'm saying this is how he
I
felt.
was like, the dude that's throwing tonight, I don't care. Go away. Go to somewhere else next year. I don't care.
Oh, it was Captain Jack, wasn't it?
Yes.
Man, he's awesome.
Captain Jack. That's a good name for him. He's a
He
Jack.
must have pitched to Jim.
Five
hey,
and fly.
it don't matter. Put Gallegos in there, and this stuff may be over.
It'll be over 2-1.
It doesn't matter, dude. That article I sent in our message
That's
thing
what we
was
were talking
Schilt.
about,
Did
yeah.
you guys talk about that?
We just talked about it. You didn't say talk about what was
But
in it.
I mean,
Go ahead, Jason. You can.
I'm with you. I mean, Schilt said I'm with that article and with Schilt on how much he loved Cardinals and was a Cardinal guy. Come through the Cardinal way. We didn't make all these defensive mistakes when Schilt was manager. We didn't, and we didn't. I don't know. He was willing to play small ball once in a while. He was willing. I just think we jumped on this Marmol. I know he had a good year last year, and this can't be just our players. There has to be more to it.
Hey, what would we have been without Albert Pujols having the season that he did?
Well, we
in
wouldn't
the second half.
We wouldn't have been anything.
No, wouldn't been a whole lot.
that was so. Maybe it was more Albert and Yachty than it was Marmol.
I mean, it's like when when people or kind of terminal, and all of a sudden they have like this just
Oh
that
my
last
gosh,
little.
he did not just say that.
Yeah, he did. But anyway.
Okay, and for their careers, they're over. The careers are over.
Their career's terminal.
And the show is over.
And every St. Louis
We are
fan and Pujols fan.
Man.
When their careers are over.
Well, not making 150.
Oh my gosh!
Anyway, go ahead.
Forget
Go
it.
ahead.
I found $10. Made my story better already.
That was kind of funny.
my
But
gosh!
terminal.
Like that last little bit of, and then that's it. It's like you get a little better. You start.
Not everyone has that little
Okay, I'm just
beforehand.
saying. Anyway.
I mean, some people really go down the. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, again, I found $10.
How do we segue
It was,
from
I was on the
that?
floor and I got it, and it was great.
I really think that
I think they rode that.
They
It's
rode
called
the Pujols.
leadership.
Yes, they
it's
did.
called leadership. And I
think
know
they
we
rode
talked
that.
about this before. You lose Yachty, you lose Albert. Wayno's struggling. He
Well,
was
and
hurt at
Wayno
the
wasn't
beginning of
around at the whole
Wayno
beginning of the
wasn't-
year.
There's no leadership. Again, what did Goldie ever win in Arizona? What did
Man, you really don't like Paul Goldschmidt
no,
or Nolan Arenado.
I do, but
No, you
again,
don't. You wanted it. By the way, he wants to trade him at the deadline.
Fleece him.
I'm not
Boom!
afraid of doing that.
Boom!
Oh
Hey,
my gosh!
hey,
You
Jarvis?
agree with Zach?
Hey!
And here's my thought process.
I don't even want
on
to
it.
talk to you right now.
Hold on. Echo.
How old is Goldie?
Yeah.
34.
36? No.
34.
Past his prime.
35.
Okay, 34, 35.
Sure.
We have him guaranteed for what? One more year?
One more year.
Through next year, yeah.
Yeah, through next year. If we don't get some pitching help, what's it matter if we have him next year?
We can get some pitching.
Hold on. Was that? Did we rewind this? I thought this was the live show.
Well,
because
I
that's
didn't
exactly
see
what
you
I
guys
said. That's exactly
and
what I
believe me,
said.
I don't want Goldie to get traded.
Hold on. That's exactly what I said.
Zach's already got him on the damn bus, and here's the ticket.
I'm afraid he might be.
He's right. He's like Moneyball.
What
He's Jonah Hill pulled him into the office and telling him that here's your ticket, here's the contact information.
You're a good player.
Well, who the hell?
player.
Okay, other than Arenado, who the hell else is anybody going to want unless it's
Thank
Jordan
you.
Walker?
Put all of them. No, put the whole bag of these guys ain't any good.
Nobody want. Oh, here I got a whole bag of shit for you. Give me your
you.
best pitcher.
Thank you.
They're not going to do that.
There he goes.
you.
There he goes.
Thank you, Jarvis.
Jason comes on the show. Jason comes on the show, and all
And
of a
he
sudden,
just solidifies.
Everything
and
you
I
said.
got to put the little E
I had
next
no
to
idea.
everything.
I had no idea what you said because I didn't listen because I was at practice. But or open gym, whatever you want to call it, it's a contact day. I can do what I want.
Practice.
So, yeah, I hate to say, it, but I read it was a good article about it too about Goldie getting traded, and I my heart sunk. But then I went, who the hell else are we going to trade to get anything?
I don't trade my two best players.
I didn't say trade them both.
Face of the franchise at this point.
Okay,
Both of them.
so
Okay.
who you going to get, and how long is it going to be until the person you trade for him that you're going to be able to plug him in and play?
You're not getting 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. You're getting guys that are.
Who in the hell are you going to get?
You're getting
Who?
top dudes.
Who?
The top guy within the top
There isn't
three
any pitching
guys
out there.
of
Open.
the minor league prospects for each.
Okay,
team.
and let's play the game that the Cardinals do, where we don't put them out there right away when everybody else takes their guys and says,
We don't
Juan
start the
Soto,
clock.
Juan Soto, we're just going to put you out there. You're 19 years old. Let's just let you hit.
Exactly.
Okay. So what
Well,
happens?
I don't.
the
think-
Reds just brought up the number one prospect in baseball.
How
He's
old's he?
playing. He's not 18.
He's not very
He's not
old.
18, 19, I don't think.
Is he  21, 22?
I'd have to look it up.
I mean,
That's
if
still fine.
Jordan Walker was the guy that they think he is, hell, put him in the freaking lineup last year. No, we're
Well,
going to keep him down.
they were winning.
I
last
think
year.
Either way.
Now, do I think there's some other valuable players on our team that we could trade? Yes, but you're just not going to get the top tier pitching we need for Edmund or for Donovan.
Somebody's going to want a switch hitter that can play anywhere on the field. Donovan's a Gold Glover that you can take and you can
Edmund's
put
a Gold
you can
Glover.
put those guys, put them all in a freaking bag and say, "Here, we'll take one guy." I would trade 4 for 1
That's
any
why-
freaking day of the
my
week
gosh.
right now.
Yes,
and play
the other way.
and
The
take
other way.
and take those guys. Take those guys that are in the minor leagues and let them play. You said it yourself. Well, you're losing. We might as well. Then put Goldschmidt and Arenado, Walker, and all these younger dudes out there and say, Piss on it. Let's see what happens. And then you go.
I'm not against that. You were talking what they need if they want to win this year they need pitching.
And
if they're not going to get pitching, I don't know that you're going to get it.
to
What are you
get.
going to get?
Shane Bieber's the only guy out there that you could trade for, and he's going to, I believe, turn around and be a free
I'd rather
agent.
have the other guy on their team.
I know you're talking
younger.
about. Yeah, but he's under so much cost
I
control.
can't think of his name.
You would have to
What
trade
team?
the former Indians.
and the Indians.
I'm going to call them the Indians. I don't even care. They're the Cleveland Indians. Indians.
Indians.
Indians.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What's his name?
I'm just saying. I don't agree with that, man. I don't want to trade him.
I like Winkler said when Walker said I'll be me. I thought Mo wouldn't when he did say that. I thought, oh crap, he ain't never come back.
He ain't never
Yeah,
gonna resign.
Yeah.
Not unless Moselock's not around. Jason, just be patient, okay?
I can't.
Relax,
I
be
want the
patient.
wallet gone too. Can someone else buy them that'll spend some money?
I'm telling you.
the problem
DeWitt
is-
leaves before Moselock
But
does.
the problem is they have spent money on pitching. That's the problem.
They had to be the
On
worst
nobody.
free agent signings of all
Yeah.
time.
Well, Matt's.
There's one.
There's one. Gosh, that's terrible.
Well, you've got, again, 20-year
Who is that?
up in Michaelis.
Who is that? Who is that? Well, he's
Michaelis is what we're paying Michaelis. He's
20 mil?
He's a third starter.
Nolan Syndergaard is terrible, and he's made about $50 million in the last 2 years.
That's what I'm saying.
And Michaelis is better. Oh, and by the way, Syndergaard can throw it 100 miles an hour. He just walks everybody and then throws it down the middle.
That sounds like Hicks.
So you gonna give Hicks 20 mil too?
No, I'm going to
for
go
a year?
get a boatload of relievers.
Who
that throw-
are you? There's nobody like that.
My thing is, is this turnaroundable by next year?
I'd say,
That's
what was that? What was that?
Turnaroundable.
Turn
The Jarvis word. Jarvisism. So can you?
That's my point. So
He's been around
If
too
we
long.
can't,
Scott,
if we
did
can't
you
be
trade him?
contenders next year, if we can't get the pitching to be contenders next year, what is the use in holding on to Goldie when you can
Thank
put
you.
that big old guy that's burly down there at the Myers, put him at first and let him hit. If you could get something decent in return, I'm not saying you
could.
give Goldie away, but you don't
You're
tell
gonna
me
be able
that
to-
the Yankees or some of these teams the Yankees might not even be in it. But if some of these teams are in the race, you're not going to tell me they may not pony somebody pretty good up
you
for
can
Goldie.
fleece them. Again, the will to win right now, you are going
Say
to
Anthony,
fleece everybody.
say
Everybody
the Yankees
needs
were in the
pitching.
race and Anthony Rizzo goes down and out for the year.
Who-
The Yankees win.
Who are they going to give you?
I don't know. I'm just saying
They don't
if
have
it.
anybody in their farm system. There's only like a handful of teams that are good who have good
Well, and
prospects
the problem-
and have guys
And the
that are
problem is
there.
though with a lot of the guys that have good prospects, they're not in.
They suck.
Yeah.
So there you go. So you're going to trade him to the Dodgers? They already got enough guys who can play first base. Hell, they moved Max Muncy to second. That's how many guys that they have who can play first. And there's a designated hitter
Well,
spot,
we
by
moved
the
Tommy
way.
Edmond to center field, so there you go.
Hey,
Well, we got infielders playing outfield.
Hey, all I know is that, man, I talked to Ken Jones today, and I should have thanked him. This is because he talked about the Dodgers.
Dodgers.
He dropped J.D. Martinez a couple weeks ago when he was terrible. I picked him up and started him the last 3 weeks, and he has been on freaking fire. And
So-
I'm like, thank you, Ken Jones.
So Jason Jarvis should be the manager of the Cardinals.
No, I'm
matter
not-
of fact, that job opening might be vacant soon.
all right,
As
well,
Gersh gets fired, and then you can go and be the puppet,
That's
puppet for
fine.
Moselock.
Maybe Ollie will go to that spot, and then they'll hire a
Oh
manager.
gosh,
That's
The-
perfect
the-
spot.
They were talking about Madden. They were talking about him.
John
the other
Madden?
day. No.
John Madden would be a hell of a lot better than Ali Marmol right now.
how old is Madden though?
Well,
Old, but
I think John
it's Joel.
Madden.
Joe Madden.
Yeah, John Madden passed away.
Passed
No,
away.
he's talking about Joel. The old
Joe
Cubs.
Madden.
I didn't say Joe Madden. I said how old is Madden, the baseball guy?
Okay, I thought you were talking about John. I'm like, dude, man, he's
Late 70s.
cross
him off.
I know that freaking John Madden's dead.
Well, you just had to ask, man.
I mean, you already made me talk about
what
a
is up with him
Pittsburgh
today?
quarterback bad
Hey,
one time.
What,
I mean, I'm
what
not
is
gonna.
up with him? He's talking about the last little
He's
death
all about
spurt,
death.
right now.
I know.
Might have talked to about how
I will
his
say,
son's been. Or
I
something.
will say,
don't know.
I was the worst when I talked about the quarterback getting hit by the truck or whatever. I was the worst. I saw that the other day on something.
Anniversary.
I don't know, it was a replay or whatever, and I saw it on our.
Yeah, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. Heck, they just had one that just got killed or whatever by a truck. And I'm like,
I was
if you'd like to know what we're talking about, go ahead and go back to the archives of the coach's box.
You can also see it on TikTok because.
I was very insensitive. He was with his girlfriend, but had a wife. So what are you doing at 2 a.m? But anyway,
nothing good happens after midnight.
But back to
what counts in life.
Coach over here talking about bad.
What?
Getting him riled up. I do think that if it's the right trade him. Who? Okay, on our team, there's only a couple untouchables. Arenado, right now, to me, is untouchable, and Walker. And then after that, I'm like, pfft. Well, you can't end Contreras just because of his contract.
I'm not trading Goldschmidt. I'm trading Jack Flaherty. I'm trading those other guys.
I'm trading Jack Flaherty.
I'm trading Jack Flaherty at the deadline. At the deadline, Jack Flaherty's got to go. Because
sign me up.
You are not going to re-sign him. No. He's got to go. Bye. Why? Why do you want to keep him around?
No, I mean, there's no reason.
You get something for him.
And he's pretty well made it clear. Even if you get a couple prospects and one shows out all right for you, the other one doesn't work out, whatever, it's still better than nothing because it's going to be nothing.
Jack Flaherty
wants to be on the West Coast.
If there was the St. Louis Cardinals and every other team in Major League Baseball was in Japan, he's going to go and sign with them, whatever team. He does not want to come back to the Cardinals. Nope. In the story.
No, he doesn't.
And the way we just treated Walker and telling him that he needed to fix his crap when there's nothing wrong, he's just young. By the way, I was watching the Once Upon a Time in Queens. Have you seen that documentary about the Mets?
Say it again.
Once Upon a Time in Queens?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
ESPN?
What's it on?
It's 30 for 30. There's 3 parts.
Uh-huh.
There's like 3 hours long.
That's on season like 6 or 5.
Yeah, I don't know. Dad had them recorded. I was.
I bought all the seasons.
Anyway,
I haven't watched that one yet.
They brought up Darryl Strawberry, who's number 1 overall pick.
Him and Doc's 30 for 30 is good too. But
yes,
go ahead.
And Strawberry was struggling. And he even says, he goes, I wasn't hitting. I wasn't playing well. But they kept putting me out there and playing me.
Well,
and the fans stuck with me because,
even in his 30 for 30, he talked about how, he goes, I was at a point where I didn't know what I could do. I'd changed so much. I'd done so. He was lost.
He called his mom and was like, this ain't for me. And, just
he was seriously thinking about quitting baseball.
Yeah. And guess what? Stuck with it. Now,
well, he snorted a few lines of coke and then he went out and hit. But anyway, go ahead.
A lot of dope. And
which leads me to my next point, kids. Don't smoke crack.
Yeah.
But my point is not the drugs.
Sorry, I went off the rails. But
a little bit. But I'm just saying, you had Jordan Walker in the opening day lineup, and it's like, what's the worst thing we can do right now is, send the guy down.
And what pissed me off the most about it was this. He said, well, we just love the way he fights through adversity. Oh, first adversity, hey, your swing screwed up. Go down.
What's adversity? He was hitting 270.
I can say
everybody on the team besides Goldschmidt is hitting lower than 270. So right now, why in the hell did we send him down?
I don't know.
He's making everybody else look bad.
And you got to think, that the veterans on that team had to have been sitting there going, what are we doing? If I'm Goldie, I'm Arenado, I'm all these guys that have, they've been winners. You're looking around going,
he can't play in the outfield. Well, then DH him.
Hey, just be patient, okay, guys? Just be patient. Hang on, let me adjust my bow tie.
It's past Memorial Day, folks.
Waino said today, he said, he goes, I'm not
He
used
said
to
some
this.
interesting
But he
things
said,
lately,
I'm not
too.
used to this. He's like, I've been here 18 years. We've never been in this situation. I don't know how to deal with it, but I can tell you right now, nobody on this team knows how to do it.
I'm going to tell you right now, again, I go back to the George Steinbrenner days in New York and just start freaking shaking things up. Don't trade your 2 best players. Dumbass. I'm taking those other guys.
I'm not saying trade them right now.
I'm taking all those guys, and I am going to be moving people around like I am the general manager playing MLB The Show, and I'm going to be going, Let's see, what can I get for that guy? Because if I got a guy, again, if Mason Wynn can hit 239, I am going to trade anybody in front of him.
We got to win, and Hicks is the winning pitcher.
Wow.
Hey,
1-0.
I'm okay with that, too.
We're back in the race.
My only thing that I even brought up, thinking of trading goalie,
because you're an a-hole right now.
No,
that's why.
if we go and we can't get anything for Edmund, Donovan, and all these guys, if we put them all together and we can't get crap,
we can get a thing of chewing gum.
Okay,
and some seeds.
But here's the other reason why you trade.
You can't trade Edmund and Donovan for chewing gum.
But here's the other thing, right? Here's why you have to trade them at some point. Nobody is signing here in St. Louis.
Bingo!
So you have to trade Goldie. You have to trade Arenado at some point. That's the only way you're going to bring in a quality stars or a quality prospects.
No.
You're not signing anybody.
I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna tell you exactly right now. Nobody wants to come to St. Louis who's a big-time free agent. We missed on Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah. And who else? Let's just make it. You can make a quick
there's a
list.
huge list.
Okay, everybody's like, well, yeah, the Cardinals. But no, I don't want to do that. Hell, what was his name? He used to be a pitcher for the Rays. David Price. Yeah. Didn't want to come here. No. You know, it took less money to go play for the Red Sox. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to go play with a bunch of white dudes out in St. Louis. Because we don't spend money in the international market. We don't have anybody who's Latino, hardly at all. Other teams, those are the guys who are the baseball players. I was talking with somebody. Matter of fact, I believe it was today, and they were even talking about it, saying the Latino baseball player is like the baseball players that were in the United States back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Like there was a fire. That like they had that will to play. They grew up in poverty. That's all they did was play baseball. And
the MLB sets up baseball camps in Latin American
but then think about the way it is now. It's like, okay, well those guys, they have Mariano Rivera played and had a milk crate for a glove. Okay, think about some of these kids that are playing baseball now. They got all this freaking travel gear stuff, and they got to look good, and they got to pay all kinds of money to go play, and it's not the same. You don't have the same kind of baseball player. When you look at the St. Louis Cardinals, you're not seeing a Giancarlo Stanton. You're not seeing a Latino player that's the face of the franchise. So when your best players now, on the average, and I'm not saying that they're the non-white guys, I'm saying on the average, they're Latino. We don't got those guys, and they don't want to come here and play because they don't want to play in St. Louis because we don't have that environment. Think about what we just did to Wilson Contreras, who I didn't like him when he was with the Cubs because he's a showboat son of a gun, but he's the kind of guy you hate as an opponent, but you love as a teammate. What did we just do to him? I mean, seriously, what did the Cardinals just do to him? What did we just do to Jordan Walker? What did we do to these guys who come in and they have this swagger to them and they're like, hey, you can't do that here.
That's not the Cardinal way.
The Cardinal way. No. The Cardinal way is derived from having the love of the game.
Yes.
Okay? The love of the game and played the right way. Not with the freaking calculator. Not playing like, you can't act like that. You can't have no emotion. You said it. The lack of the emotion when Walker hit that home run the other night was embarrassing. They talked about it on like the baseball network, MLB network. You got to be kidding me. Are you that dead? What would happen if it was like the Marlins, who, I mean, they're stockpiled with guys who are from Latin America. We don't have those guys. We got here.
Our home run thing is what, that little stupid hamburger looking thing on the. Well, I don't even know.
I mean, look, I've always been a guy that's like, look, don't show up your opponents. But I'm playing Major League Baseball. This is how these guys play. And it's not because they're being disrespectful. They have that love of the game. Mm-hmm. We don't got a bunch of guys that got love for the game. I'm just telling you. And the guys that we're getting aren't like that.
It's funny because I just in my I'm teaching history of sports in summer school to junior high, so I had to kind of gauge it down a little bit. And we just watched The Perfect Game, the Little League. Mm-hmm. Dude, I mean, just watching those kids and their love of the game. And I agree with you. We don't have
guys like that.
We don't have Ramirez like the Guardians do. We don't have, but we used to. Go back to some of our who was the second baseman when we won the 1 year Belliard or whatever.
Ronnie Belliard.
Yeah.
Fernando Vina.
I mean, we used to have
guys
them.
like that.
I mean, Edgar Renteria. I mean, we've had guys, but in recent years we haven't.
We haven't. Look at.
I mean, we had Pujols, which I mean,
but before we had Paul Goldschmidt, I mean, we could have been in the running for a guy like Jose Abreu. Boy, he'd have been nice to have, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
but we could have signed him as a free agent too and played him at DH. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do that. They don't go and get those guys. They don't spend money in the international market. That's what other teams are doing to fill those holes. You want to talk about going and getting free agent pitchers? They're not going to do it. You got a guy who's a Cuban defecting from Cuba who wants to play baseball, and he's a stud. And you got a bunch of guys who don't want to sign here. I can go and get that guy, throw a bunch of money at him. He'll come play for us because he wants to get out of his country. Because he's living under a communist regime. He's living in poverty. He wants to provide for his family.
Well, and they have a different hunger than some of ours.
That's exactly right. So why aren't we going and getting those guys? Why?
No offense, bro, Neil, but he don't have the hunger that those guys do.
There's the playing style is different. You can say it's flashy or whatever. There's a distinct, and I used to be on the other, like, that's showboating, throw the bat kind of stuff. Man, I'll tell you what, I would love to see it. I would love to see that kind of emotion because those guys want to play the game. They are freaking happy to be there.
I thought the home run, going back to the Walker home run, I thought Marmol was pretty amped up. Did you see him go to Walker? But it was kind of a dead dugout. I was kind of like, man.
It's not kind of, man.
Kisner was the only two in the dugout.
Kisner's great, though. If you watch Kisner anytime he's on the bench during a game, yes, him and
Kisner is Rube Baker.
But we lost a lot of that when we lost Newtbar. When Newtbar went on the DL, we lost that.
Yes.
What?
He's Rube Baker.
Rube Baker.
Andrew Kisner is Rube Baker from Major League 2.
My mama died.
There's death again.
It wasn't even Chris.
All right.
It's a movie quote.
Boy,
Go ahead, Riley.
I'm tired of hearing about this negative. Let's get to something positive.
We all better drive well.
Let's talk
on the
about
way
some
home.
high school sports tonight.
Yeah, hey, we waited for you, Jason, because you're alma mater.
I know. How
You're
about
alma
them Tigers?
mater.
How about them Tigers?
The Tigers.
Year of the Tigers.
Not just a baseball championship. They had already won the track championship before that.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Jason. It's all you. This is the camera is on you, buddy.
Jeff Montgomery's been the head coach there for a long time, and I was happy for him. Good for him. Good for those kids.
Heck yeah.
My son grew up playing with a lot of those kids before he came to Herky, and there's a lot of Herky names on that roster too, if you would look at it.
Yes,
but yeah, kudos to them. They had some injuries, like Ian Brown. He lives in my subdivision, and he threw that gem of a game.
Yes, he did.
All right. Well, he fought an injury all year. Like, he wasn't even sure. And the only reason why I know all this is because I broke my stupid ankle and had to go get it rehabbed, and he was there. And he said last year when they lost, they were coming back. And, man, they did it. I mean, that sophomore came in and pitched. What's his name? Starts with an S. Shermer, yes. He came in, pitched a heck of a game. I mean, he was shaky in the very beginning, the first inning, but I mean, lights out, man. Nate Moore. I mean, you're talking about some kids that have played baseball their entire lives on that team. A ton of them that have been playing forever.
Yeah.
The Bates, Hayden Bates had a heck of a season. All those guys. That was awesome.
Just from the entire playoffs, they gave up 2 runs.
2 runs the entire
entire postseason from first game of districts.
Make that Cardinal pitching staff look like crap. Yeah. I mean,
the thing that I enjoyed watching was, you saw support from entire county about Festus baseball. Like, even the guys from Hillsboro were up and supporting them, and talking about it positively all over social media.
Well, that's the way it's got to be. I mean, you got to support Jefferson County sports. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean,
I loved it.
They're winning. I mean, I'm not gonna. Oh well, I'm not. No, man. The Jefferson County winning. That's awesome. Good for them.
You got to talk
Root
about
for local
them.
teams.
They won a state title in baseball. Go track and field. Crystal City's 3rd in Class 2. boys. Herculaneum's third in Class 4 boys.
Festus
Hillsboro 1 and 2, Class 5 boys track. So, think about all of that you had around the county in the last 2 weeks.
And Hillsboro just beat them recently at the conference meet too,
and district
meet and sectionals, and then they go to state and Festus beats them. So, heck of a run for some athletes over there at Festus, man.
Heck of a run, literally, for some athletes.
Yes.
And look at me. And
Punter Day.
And that baseball team, I know they're going to lose some heck of seniors, but I mean, they're going to have some kids coming back. They're still going to be a decent team.
Bates boy's going to come back for one more year. You got Shermer boy's going to now be a sophomore, and man, I think they'll still be pretty good.
Isn't Hayden only a sophomore?
He's a
junior.
sophomore.
He's only a sophomore.
No, he's a junior.
Shermer. He's a sophomore.
Shermer's just junior.
And Hayden's a junior?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm glad you guys have done your research on all this
a
stuff.
sophomore.
Well, that's where we're talking. I can't remember what every class they're in. I mean, at least I know what we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But, it was just, good for Montgomery, Coach Montgomery. I mean, he followed a legend from there, and Beasting, and the guy that had been there forever and a day. And
a guy that had come up short
many
several times.
Yes.
I mean, they listed them all, and,
he was there, too.
Yeah, he was there, and Barry Stafford, who's been a long-time assistant there, and it was good to see for, just for that community who's been real close a bunch of times in that sport. And I was giving some Festus guys some trouble. I'm like, well, let's see. We got a basketball championship. They have a track championship. They have a baseball championship. The sport that they're always talking about, those football.
It's hard to win it.
It is tough to win.
It's tough to win a football one. I made it to
It's tough to win any of them.
Any of them, I agree. And it's really tough to win a football one,
tough
too.
to win a district.
Yeah.
Let alone get to the Final Four.
Ain't no crap.
But I was just giving some guys some trouble. I'm like, hey, so football's got to step it up, baby. Come on, let's go. I played on 2 Final Four teams at Festus, and man, it was devastating when you're one game away and you lose. And in baseball, the same way. You look through there, they had like 3 or 4 years they were in the top, 3 or 4.
I got to ask this question. This is a little off topic, but you brought up your football career.
Yeah.
Who do you think has better brain function right now? You or Tua from Miami?
Oh, I do.
I said that you did too. We talked about this real quick early in the show.
I saw someone say why you hate Tua, and I was like, what are they were talking about Tua tonight.
Yeah, I just.
I mean, I've had my share of concussions
that you know about.
Well, and some
your parents know about,
and some I want to forget about. But
see the shoe? It says Adidas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry. I just watched
that movie to Concussion. That was on the other
I'm
day.
not going to lie to you. I worry about when I get a few more years older. I mean, sometimes I forget stuff now, and I'm like, man, is that because
scary to think about.
You have a child, a younger child.
18 months.
Hey, I know what I got.
I'm glad he didn't catch the first of the show, by the way.
Oh, you guys jadilfing me?
Well, you weren't here. We were.
You just have to actually go back and watch.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I'm always here. I can't help you. You guys decided to make it where I couldn't be here.
Oh well,
you guys. There's one guy that's making that call.
You know why?
Because it's your show.
I said
you're the big time in us going in New Jersey.
The owner.
They're going to New Jersey.
Well, I mean,
New Jersey. He's the owner, proprietor.
Well, it's
the
because
one
I do own it.
Hey, exactly. He's the one that produces great value.
No.
Yes,
it's not
substantial value.
Are we talking about the big
significant value?
The big show he was on last night that I didn't even know about until it was out there?
Yeah, distinguished value.
Man,
I'm looking at synonyms.
I couldn't believe all the
prominent value.
Some
There's
of those
another adjective in the middle of that.
Hey, some of those.
Of course, I'm going to miss that one.
Some of those comments, and I don't know the dude at all, and I saw him say professional, and then I saw him say that you all four really feed off each other and get along, and I was like, man,
I think he's been watching the show, Jason.
He missed the beat off show. Because Blair is not ever going to hear the end of that show.
True. I mean, I did explain to him that there's times where things get said and you never, ever, ever, ever live it down.
No.
No, it's just how it is.
True that.
I was thinking professional. He said we were professional. Man, that's awesome.
In the same sentence, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Hey,
And he said, I will say, I listened to over half of it, but it was getting kind of glitchy at times. But he was talking about just the professionalism and the graphics, and then just that he enjoys listening to all kinds of podcasts. So I felt good about the coach's box the other night listening to him talk. I was like,
I mean, I did too.
That is
I
awesome.
didn't know what to expect, and they reached out from Let's Talk Sports and was like, "Hey, you interested in being on a podcast? We want to talk about you guys' show and kind of how it came about." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, man." Is that it? I mean, is that what you want to talk about? And it ended up being a conversation about basketball and things like that, which is fine. And
I heard him ask you what would you do to, main thing you would do to start a program or to, for build a program.
Yeah.
Speaking of basketball, I want to ask, what's your summer record for the girls coaches? Are you?
Oh, there we go.
I am 0-0.
Okay. It's early. It's only the first week of June.
Yeah,
He's good. He's
it
good.
was more in the spring last year, I think, or was it
It was the fall.
It was the fall. Yeah, it was more in the fall, like football season, when I'm in middle of football season and I'm coaching basketball too. But I enjoyed.
That's what friends do.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, friends do.
That's exactly what friends do to each other.
Friends say somehow. Oh yeah, I'll be there.
Well, no, I'm thinking, but you got to reciprocate, and that means
that
my
never
daughter
happens.
should be starting. And
it only happened parts of the year last year.
Parts.
Well, heck, it'll probably happen this year too. He loves his seniors. If you don't know this about Blair, his seniors always start.
There we go.
They get great gifts, and it's
that he does. He does a phenomenal job with that.
Hey, my seniors got a lot of good stuff this year too. But I have enjoyed going to the
fundraising.
I've enjoyed going to the girls' league and just sitting back and watching. I do some yelling.
It's been a good summer so far. I mean,
I told Mandy this the other day. I'm like, man, I kind of miss this time being able to go to the summer games. And it's why it's summertime. Don't you? Want to? I said, well, yes, you want to win. You want to compete. You want to win, but you're playing summer ball. There's not all that pressure to win and lose.
Well, and you just never know what team you're going to have show up. Like, I mean,
they play. In my opinion, over the years, the kids have always just played looser, freer. It's like you can't foul out, so just go play hard, go have fun. And they just, I don't know. I've always enjoyed the summer.
Yeah, we had two good games Monday. I mean, we lost one to Kingston. Kingston's tough. They're going to be good. I mean, they really only lost the one guard. I mean, they lost a couple of other role players, another guard, but I mean, he has the Yates kid.
Did the tall post, skinny post, did he graduate?
No, he's a senior this year, and Yates is a senior this year, so they're pretty tough.
Yates is all right.
Yeah, we lost to them, and we beat St. Paul. We were losing that game almost the entire game until the end. And it was kids played really hard. That's all. You know what? If anyone ever says anything about a team that I've coached, I want coaches to say that my kids play hard.
That's right.
And I think for the most part my kids do, and that's what I want in the summer.
Well, you look back, and I always say this about the summertime. Like, I truly do let some of my younger classmen play a little bit up in varsity over the summer. Say, hey, guess what? This is what it's about. This is how you got to play, and it's an eye opener for some of those kids. Me, I got to get better, or hey, maybe I'm all right, and maybe I need to put a little bit more work in. Maybe I have a chance to play a little bit at the varsity level. I just do that a lot, and I feel like it pays off because some of those younger kids get excited about it, and all of a sudden they start wanting to put more work into it, and it seems like it pays off.
I mean,
as they get
the other
older,
part
too.
is they get the idea that they think they should be starting and playing more.
That's tough.
That's
not
the bad
girls.
part.
Girls is not as bad as boys.
I would beg to differ.
There's a few
I
that
would beg to differ. Hold on. The kids or the parents?
That may be more of it.
Okay.
I ain't gonna
That
lie.
may
I
be
watched
more
my
of
girl play all last summer, and she should have been starting. But that's a coaching issue that they got at Herky.
You didn't start a Facebook account just to bash this guy over here.
No, I didn't.
Or Twitter or
I thought
whatever.
about
JJ, that's what it's called. JJ.
No, I just said it right out to him. Why do I need a Twitter or anything?
If you put it on Twitter, I would never know.
I just walked it out.
It's true. It's what we should do. Let's start a burner account.
Oh my God.
Let's start a coaching box parody
JJ
account.
should start game one.
Well, hey, let's be honest. I've had some people do that to me before. So
I have.
So I know how it goes. But
yes.
Let me ask you this, and
sometimes this summer, like what he's saying works, but like I didn't get in the Hillsborough League this year because I was afraid. I had some of my varsity guys are baseball players, and I couldn't have them for Wednesday nights.
This is what I wanted
and
to
I
ask.
felt like if I went to Hillsborough without those guys, and I'm playing a bunch of freshmen and sophomore, and I'm getting my tail kicked in, I just didn't feel like that. My program's going from losing a good senior group. And I'm not going to do my young kids any good, I don't think, by going out there and getting my butt kicked. So
here's my question.
That's why I structured my summer the way I did.
So here's my question for you guys. We have football. We have basketball. We obviously have baseball. We have softball. We have maybe even track.
Did you see that with Ron Rhodes?
The Jets and all. You have it's summertime. It's the off season for everybody. How do you all manage, especially being basketball coaches, with the season being in the winter? Okay, because it's you could sit here and say high school baseball rolls into summer baseball, and kids and families are going to make that connection. Fall sports are coming up, so obviously that's what I'm going to do, Coach. It's fall coming up. My question to you guys is, as being the wintertime sports, how do you manage expectations of getting your athletes to your stuff and sharing with the other, even coming up with a schedule, because you have to share. Now, I'm not trying to ruffle feathers.
You need to change that whole conversation of what you said. None of these coaches have to share anything. That's the issue.
Yeah. And I think that causes a lot of the problem. Because then we put the kids in a bad position, and then they have to pick and choose. And when they have to pick and choose, all it does is become negative around the teams and the programs.
So
and I feel like that's
what I've done, Zach. I'll be real. I've never had a basketball camp at Herky since I've been there. This will be my 9th year there. I had one my first year. Never had one since because I'm not going to have all my kids there. They're going to miss for football, or they're going to miss for cross country.
I didn't even add summer school. Didn't even add that.
And so I've just learned that I'm going to schedule my stuff around football as much as I can, and around the other sports. I mean, football is the only one I'm competing with, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, baseball I am too, because if they play summer ball. But I mean, school team, the only team I'm really competing with is football, and. Yeah, I mean it's not easy. It's not easy sometimes. I mean, that was another thing that played into my Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights they have conditioning and lifting for football 4 to 6. I will say, Boss did a solid for me last year, and he brought the basketball kids in the morning. But I did have a few basketball kids that played basketball last year that decided, well, I'm going to just focus on my fall sport, and I'm not going to come to any basketball the whole summer. And that's rough because it's our off season too. Even though we're a fall or a winter sport, our off season is in the summer too, and it sometimes gets heated. I mean, I know that my daughter's going to have to pick there's a couple weekends where there's volleyball and basketball at the same time. So what do you do? And my daughter's been conflicted with that for 2 years now. Well, what do you do?
Okay, let me
you
pause
as a parent don't want to tell her what to do.
This is what hold on. This is my next question. Take your coaching hat off, put your parent hat on. How do you handle that as a parent? And I'm not, if you want to use you or if you just want to say generically.
I can use me. I mean,
generically, as a parent, how do you handle that?
It's hard. With Dylan, I was lucky because I was coaching football and basketball, so I can maneuver that stuff. And I just tried to plan stuff when I knew football wasn't in. But Dylan didn't play summer baseball because he could have probably played 2-5-3 if he wanted to. I mean, he wasn't even asked to try out, but he said, I'm not doing it. And he said, I won't be at any basketball. I won't be at any football. And he goes, I'm not going to do that. He goes, I want to be at my school sport. That's what I play.
Right. And I think it's the hardest part as a parent, though, that you know, you take your thing and you say, okay, hey, I think you got to be able to put the kid and say, hey, what do you want to do? And if you want to do that, then I'll stick behind you as a parent.
Okay, now let me ask you this, because here's what I'm going to say.
You
say that to Coach over there. Now, when Coach over there says,
"Why are you pointing at me?"
Okay, but we'll do the Spider-Man. We'll point at both of you guys. Now, when you say that as the parent, but then the coach over there says the exact same thing and says, "Parent, this is the choice that you made as the head coach. I'm going to make the decision to either cut Johnny or Susie, not start Johnny or Susie, keep him down on JV Johnny or Susie, not play him."
Well,
how do you reconcile that? Because that's the day and age that we are living in.
Totally agree.
That is the issue.
But I don't know that as a parent we're going to ever hear that as from a coach. A coach is not going to go tell that parent, "Hey, if you tell that or that kid."
But
anymore,
I would say, as a parent, you're going to have that conversation. Let's just say little Johnny Appleseed over there's not playing. You're going to have, at some point, you're going to get riled up enough as a parent, and hopefully you would go through the protocol and say, "Johnny, you go talk to your coach first before I do."
Right.
Before I do, and then say, "Hey, coach, I would like to have a parent meeting, and then I would like to know why my son or daughter is not playing." And then the coach. Well, do you remember when you said in the off season you were going to go here, there, you were not going to be a part of this program? Sorry, this other kid, Bobby Joe, he did, and he got better.
All right, let's put all this crap to bed, because I'm going to tell you right now exactly how this is for a basketball coach. At the end of the day, your kids who are basketball 1 kids, on the majority, they're playing select ball. They're not going out. There's a handful of them that'll stick with it and play with their school teams. But if they're a multi-sport kid, they're playing other sports because of what you just said. Baseball runs forever, 762 days out of the year. They're playing baseball. They paid for it. They're playing it. Kiss your butt. They're not going to be in anything. I'll see you in November when tryouts start. If there's fall baseball, you need to know they don't even know the kids exist. So that's done. Bye-bye. For football, they're doing football 7-on-7s. They're doing weightlifting, and then the mom and dad doesn't think that they need to play basketball because they're beat up from playing football or they're tired or this or that. Then you have vacations, and you have this. Basketball is in this weird spot because we don't have a connecting season to either part in the summer, so we're not. So the kids who are serious about basketball, you'll have your couple kids who are there because they are.
They're serious. Yeah,
they're serious.
The ones that won't play football,
the ones that won't play football,
or cross country,
about basketball only kids. That's what they'll do. They'll be there. But if they're really serious about playing, then they're playing select ball. They're doing those things. Your kids who are basketball 2, basketball 3, you will never see them, and it's becoming worse and worse and worse and worse now because of select baseball. The football camps for the colleges are putting on and stuff in June now. It used to be back in July a little bit more. And
wait till you have the All-Star games for your seniors where you're in the middle of the season and you're asked, "Hey, can I play in this?" What am I going to tell a senior?
Yeah.
No.
So you have that, and then and it really comes down to this. Back in the day, we can say that, well, this is the world we live in now. Yeah, I know it is. But back in the day, kids, with the help of their parents, manage their time a lot more in the summer to be able to do multiple sports and multiple things. The demand that is put on these kids from their travel, select, or whatever they're doing to be at every single thing because they're paying all this money. I'm going to tell you right now, I know there's some really, I mean, we ain't got there yet. There's some really good programs that kids do baseball-wise or whatever. But there's a lot of them are just rackets because they're making big time bucks off these people. So they tell them that you have to be at this and you have to be at that or you're losing your spot. And it's not just baseball does that. Boys volleyball is now a thing where they're telling these kids the same thing too. And it happens in girls sports as well. It happens with volleyball, it happens with softball, and you just never see these darn kids. Soccer. And they're the ones that soccer. And you depend on those kids to fill your team. You okay, well, hey, they're not going to get to play. Well, They're role players at best, probably anyway. There's a handful of them that are stud athletes that can walk in November after never picking up a basketball all summer, and they can turn around and be like, yeah, I can do this. But there's not that many of them. Those kids don't exist anymore. Right. They don't. They used to, because those kids played everything. They get done playing baseball, they go over to their buddy's house, they're playing pickup basketball. And they're not just playing, goof around. They're actually competing. That world doesn't exist. And it's because
drive by Crystal
stuff.
Park or any of those parks. They're not like it used to be.
They're gone. The Firehouse at DeSoto, they're gone. They're not there anymore. And the reason is because that's not that they don't do those things like they used to. Then you've got to work too. We hadn't even talked about that. They have to go do jobs. So now you're taking away the evening time or the daytime or whenever they have scheduled to work. So they got to pick one thing. I've had parents say, well, they got to pick one thing they're doing because they're going to work the rest of the time. So if it's football in the morning, they're going to go to football because that's what they picked, because their work schedule works the opposite way. You don't know who you're going to have. Nope. For leagues. Nope. That's a problem we run into. Don't know. That's why we didn't do leagues. I don't know who I got.
Well, you saw a couple years ago when I came to that shootout over here, I had an 8th grader out there. I had an 8th. I mean,
I can't have 8th graders out here, Jason.
Well, I know. But I had to, or I wouldn't have enough players.
And the other thing that you get all the time is from a lot of the parents say, hey, I want my kid to have a summer. Well, here's my thing.
Exactly.
Okay, but I got a summer. I'm only asking for an hour and a half, 2 hours of that day. Like, I'm not asking.
Man, we could definitely do this.
We also did
another
say,
show.
And don't beat me up here, but we also did bring up blended families.
Yes.
Oh, like you stop it.
I'm just saying
this could be a great show.
Which can be an issue because one group of parents may not bring their kid to the game, and then you got another group of parents that bring them to everything, and then you got
on vacation.
Luckily, I know my ex-wife Becky doesn't ever watch this show, but thank God Becky, Steve, and me and Tara Lynn can get along, and that our kids are going to get to everything they need to get to, and now I only have to worry about one.
It's important
with that.
So I've got to make a comment on this about they need their summer. By God, they're going to have summers for the rest of their freaking life and not get to play sports with their buddies.
Yeah, it's 4 years.
That's it. You get this amount of time, and it's like, hey, I want my summer. By God, when you go to college, you're gonna have a summer. You're gonna have spring break.
When you go to college, you're gonna have a lot of breaks.
Hey, yes. I'm gonna do a hold on, but if they leave and they leave home. Those are my only times I got them as a parent. So they might leave after that. After those
Zach,
4 years.
There's a freaking dead week for a reason.
I know that.
We have 2 dead weeks.
Hold on. You're going to sit here and tell me that when you know that we have clientele and there's clienteles at all these other schools around here that just leave whenever the heck they want.
I'm not saying
whenever they want.
The majority of people don't. I mean, okay, some people don't. I won't say the majority. Some people have the ability to schedule their vacations.
Some don't.
I understand. Well, the ones who don't, I understand that.
And I understand it.
I totally understand that.
But the worst is when some of the worst things you deal with is when a kid is forced to have to go on vacation and doesn't want to go. And then and then they put you in the middle of the situation. And I'm always like, hey, whatever your parents are telling you have to do, you got to do. But you know what? Since I've been in high school, we always planned our vacations around football, basketball, baseball,
and it's
camps,
what they do because the
4th of July is always a great week that you can go on vacation because almost every school is not doing crap, and then that first week before football starts.
Yep,
we are the unfortunate ones, and Chris Miller hit all of us. I am saying yes, that was perfect because we're the sport that is.
Agreed.
We don't go into our sport on off season, and
sloppy seconds.
Well,
did you really just say sloppy?
Is that what it is?
I wasn't going to say that, but
wow.
And I'm at a public school. Hey,
wow.
But yeah, I mean that's a way to put it. I wouldn't have put it, but I agree.
This guy,
I agree. Yeah, I mean it's hard.
I feel violated. Did you just say
I know. So do I.
Hold on. Bottle's coming back at you.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard as a basketball coach. I've stomached a lot.
Oh, yes.
With a lot of kids. I had a couple last year. I had I'm not going to say I've had seniors that didn't show up to one thing the entire summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had it happen multiple years.
And what makes it really tough is sometimes those are your best players.
And my hardest workers on the
And
when the season rolls around.
Yeah, and
and
you gotta
then
step
I got
back and
kids
you go,
that and then you got to sit back and go, man, I had Johnny over here who came and did not miss one thing for basketball, but Johnny still isn't better than the kid that didn't show up. And that's when it's bad. That's when it's rough.
Yes.
You want to reward. You want to give those kids that show up. And I do. I will give them the first shot most of the time.
Yes, you do.
And not most of the time, almost all the time. Yeah. And, and then when it shows that the other person's better, you just, the cream rises. But it's hard, man. Summers for basketball, and I don't care what you say, it's hard as a basketball coach to have an off season. And we can't do it in fall. What you think cross country coaches and football coaches are going to allow us to be practicing all the time during their season?
Not with their kids.
Nope. Not
No.
going to happen.
Yeah.
This is a good topic for a whole show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
It could definitely get off the
Hey,
rails.
I'd love to get different coaches in here of different sports and to see their opinions and their thoughts. Fall coaches.
You know
spring
what's gonna
coaches, all
happen.
that.
That'll be a fight.
No. There'll be a lot of coach speak.
Yeah, it
You
would
know
be.
exactly what it's gonna be.
We would be the non-coach
We would be
speak
the non
ones,
ones,
and then they would. Yeah,
Yeah, they would be like, well, you
I mean,
know.
I'm
Relax.
I'm not gonna lie to
patient.
you. I'm over here tiptoeing about it because I really want to say what I really feel about it, but I can't. So
You're not calling it like you see it.
And you know why? Because every coach in the United States, because what has happened is, what was the phrase? Don't let a $3,000 job affect the $40,000 job.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's why you've got to
Yes.
tiptoe around it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not right.
Well, and-
that's the culture. You talk about building culture.
I already
That's
know the fix
culture.
for this, but it ruins everything. And just do the European style. There ain't no high school sports. Just get rid of
You
it, save
think
the
that-
money, and
hey,
then make it all club.
Hey,
Done.
we'll end it there.
Done.
We'll end it there
That would be
because
miserable.
Done.
that's a show topic that we actually brought up when the school was still in session, talking about, and we'll do this on a show where we talk about
Zach's been
are
on the
we
show.
are we in the end times of high school athletics?
Oh, I thought you were going to go with a different end times.
Oh gosh.
No more. We're done.
Not
with
that book. It's the book of Zach over here.
I don't.
Zachariah.
Gosh, that's going to be a hard subject. There's going to be a lot of tiptoeing, man. I don't want to be a coach speaker.
Well, you're not allowed to be.
Hell,
Not on this show.
I already have been when he brought up his question because I really wanted to lay on, but I can't.
Nobody's watching
You
anyway.
can. Oh hell, no one's watching anyway. not after 2 hours.
I've tried that one before.
Somebody's always
Watching.
Always
When you're
Big
a
brother.
public educator, man, you're always
Sometimes,
watching.
no, I can't say that way. Sometimes people turn you in for just weird, random things, and you just never know.
Tamisha.
Tamisha,
Yeah.
you're a dad recording your kid.
Let you record a part of a baseball game and you get called in saying they recorded the whole game. Whoa!
What?
What? That is
What?
not.
Take
that
any
is
video
not
of your kid.
Great value.
That is definitely some poopy value. That is not Jadil value.
Well then.
Chris,
On that
Yeah, on that note, appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Off the Rails fun called The Coach's Box, Call It Like We See It podcast.
I only got an hour and a half of fun tonight, but hey.
Hey,
life
And
choices.
the next episode will be episode 150.
we gotta be here.
We all got to be.
We gotta be here.
Not we all, because that never happens with Jim Powers or Kevin.
Jim, you let him talk to you like that? Oh, yeah. Anyway, appreciate everybody tuning in, being a part of this
God love it.
Are
episode.
we sure it's 150? We may have miscounted.
No, I'm pretty sure it's 150.
Added her up.
Added her up. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, I haven't I've only watched like 2, so.
well, yeah, good for you, Jason.
We're on episode 3 then.
Your count 3. Everybody else 150. So anyway, don't forget that if you haven't already, if you just tuned in, if you're somebody who's seen us on Twitter and you're tuned in for the first time, don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube channel. We are growing a little following there, which is nice. You can also see us on Let's Talk Sports Network. And we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with them and Sideline Sports in the future.
It's been awesome. I've been getting a lot of notifications now that I've added both of them on Twitter.
Oh,
man.
my
That's
gosh.
cool
It's
stuff.
great. If you want to check out some great podcasts from other
touch
parts
it.
of the country.
You don't have Twitter?
Oh, I do. It's the coach's box.
Hey, can we talk about this off the air? Can I finish the giving?
I mean, we're just saying.
Every time I try to talk about these guys and what they've
I
done
was
for us,
giving a
what do you
plug.
a-hole starts talking? Shut up!
I was giving a
You have a
prop.
mic. You can mute us.
You're right. I can, Zach. Shut up. All right.
This would work.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. And again, if you want to check out some great podcasts, go and check out these guys. They do a really fantastic job. They have great stories, and they are all about promoting free content for people all around the country. For free! And exactly what we do. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Coach's Box. We might be back next week, but at the next time we see you, it will be episode 150. We can't wait to see you guys. Have a great night and a great week. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Thanks for watching another rib-tickling, gut-busting, epic episode of The Coach's Box. Please like, share, and follow.